What the film?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the What the Film podcast. I am, of course, Tristan, joined by my dad, Chad. But today, we have a special guest, a friend of the podcast, Joey Meatballs. You know him, obviously, from the star and the main villain of the Lil Detectives dish Best Served Cold, but also hosts a lot of podcasts on his own, 40 Years, 40 Beers. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, guys? I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. Now, on today's agenda, we're feeling a little romantic, okay? And a little bit funny as well. We got some romantic comedies that we're going to be talking about. Dad, what do you got to say?
So I love this category. I know you probably are not super well versed in the romantic comedies. You know, obviously in your case, there's a lot of action stuff for you. There's a lot of cultural stuff for you. Of course, Avengers, Lord of the Rings, etc., etc. But I have to tell you right now, especially as somebody who wants to be a screenwriter, romantic comedies are some of the most well-written screenplays ever. They hit every point, right? Romantic comedies literally get women to cry in the movie theater when they're watching, right? They're leaving and they're in tears, right? They get so emotional about it. Guys too. Guys can cry too. So, and it's crafted so well, right? So if you actually look at the screenplays and the formats and all of the things that romantic comedies put into it, the ingredients, it's some of the most genius stuff ever, perfectly written, okay? So most of it really kind of comes from Shakespeare, right? Just like anything else in modern day, right? He sort of was the first one to start doing a lot of romantic comedies and weird stuff. One of the oldest, most famous ones is called It Happened One Night. It won a ton of awards. This was in 1934, right? And it was one of the first movies that really dealt with realistic relationships, right? So what is a romantic comedy? Essentially, it is a humorous film that has to do with two people's relationship, romantic relationship. So, and of course, you guys all have seen some, but 1934, It Happened One Night was kind of really one of the biggest ones to really start winning awards and really start getting into the ethos, right? The Philadelphia Story, which was in 1940. This actually this starred Katharine Hepburn, who is in a ton of romantic comedies. She was the queen back in the day, right, in the 40s and 50s. This movie kind of really started getting a little more complex with their storylines. It was even more realistic, right, where it dealt with divorce, right, and other really heavy things, but still funny. And then in the 50s came somebody called Marilyn Monroe. Maybe you've heard of her, Tristan. Marilyn Monroe was one of the most gorgeous women on the planet at the time. Super famous, right? Uber famous, Michael Jackson famous back then. Her and Audrey Hepburn, who was another blonde, also in the 50s, they started making movies more glamorous, right? The romantic comedies then were super glam, right? All these very beautiful people, Clark Gable, everybody was good looking. And that went on for quite a while. Until the 60s. Now, the 60s we've talked about before. In the 1960s, movies started becoming a little bit more visceral and independent. The big studio systems were not really that big anymore, and people start, this is the birth of Martin Scorsese. This is the birth of Francis Ford Coppola, foreign films. And so the romantic comedy sort of took a little back burner until the 1970s. Until pretty much 1977 with Woody Allen's Annie Hall. It's a Woody Allen movie with Diane Keaton in it. Diane Keaton is absolutely brilliant in this movie. It's, I believe, the very first romantic comedy to ever win Best Picture. It was an extremely experimental film. So, Annie Hall, and we can say a lot of things about Woody Allen and his personal life in a very negative light. But for what it's worth, Annie Hall is absolutely one of the most creative movies ever made. There's actually a scene in it which everybody should watch, where Woody Allen is essentially talking to Diane Keaton, but they're just having a regular conversation, right? Like, hey, how's the weather? Oh, the weather's really hot right now and blah, blah, blah. But then they put subtitles underneath with what they're really trying to say, right? Like, hey, I kind of want to have sex with you, you know. It's the undertones. It's hilarious. It's a really, really funny movie. So I absolutely say you guys should watch it. After that, of course, then now probably, Joe, this is like where you're going to start to remember these things. The 1980s, it exploded with romantic comedies. I mean, Valley Girl, Pretty in Pink, When Harry Met Sally, Coming to America, Overboard, Romancing the Stone, Moonstruck, Steel Magnolias, Working Girl,
Sleepless
Splash.
in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle was amazing.
Does Pretty Woman count?
Yeah, Pretty Woman was the 90s, so that actually came a little bit after. Roxanne, Two of a Kind, Desperately Seeking Susan, which was with Madonna, right? Right, and then the 90s. Okay, so obviously these were huge money makers. Again, if you look at the screenplays of this, if you actually read the screenplays of most of these movies, they are genius, right? The timing is perfect in these movies. Pretty Woman, right? In the 90s, Never Been Kissed, 10 Things I Hate About You, As Good as It Gets. Jack Nicholson was awesome in that movie. Boomerang, right, with Eddie Murphy. Groundhog's Day, The Wedding Singer, The Birdcage, Waiting to Exhale. In 2000s, you have How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, She's the Man, Hitch, 50 First Dates, which is on like every fucking day on TV. Bridget Jones's Diary, Love and Basketball, Mamma Mia, right? The Wedding Planner, Love Actually. These are all, again, really well-crafted movies, right? And sure, it's not going to be this epic, Scorsese film or this amazing sci-fi thing, right? These are very littler films. So, Joe, I know you've seen a bunch of them. Tristan, you've maybe seen a few of those, I'm assuming. All of these have pretty much the same ingredients. They all kind of begin with something that they call the chemical equation, okay? In most of these scenarios, when you have two people that are meant to get together, they usually start off at some sort of odds, right? When they first meet, they're not going to like each other very much at all. They either have clashing worldviews, maybe conflicting goals. The first impression just isn't good, right? In one example, Tristan, obviously you've just seen You've Got Mail, right? There's nothing bigger than conflicting worlds that Tom Hanks' character, who meets Meg Ryan's character, he's going to put her out of business, right? They have the same business and he's about to win. So you know that these two, they're not going to just fall in love in the movie. They actually must change as people, and whatever that flaw is on each of them, that has to be resolved by the end of the movie, or they ain't getting together, right? So every movie has that ingredient. It's, of course, there's variations to it, obviously. In 1938 movie, it's called Bringing Up Baby. Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn, because she's in a lot of romantic comedies back then. It kind of follows that same rule, right? Where Cary Grant, he starts off as just this mild-mannered guy. He always follows the rules until he meets Katharine Hepburn, who's absolutely out of her mind. And she just leads him to one chaotic moment after another. And it's hilarious. He has to change. They have to change together so that they can get together at the end. Usually, in all of these movies, there is a humorous or some sort of memorable first encounter. In screenwriting terms, they call it the meet cute. Okay? So, for example, in 50 First Dates, Drew Barrymore is building a waffle tower, right, in the cafe, and that's where Adam Sandler first sees her and first approaches her, right? In The Wedding Planner, Jennifer Lopez, her heel gets stuck on like a grate on the street, and a car's about to hit her. Matthew McConaughey comes and saves her, right? That's a meet cute, right? Most movies have that.
Wedding Crasher, when he was helping her tone down her speech, her
Yes.
maid of honor speech. Yep.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Right. And again, that going back to the ingredients there, right? They were not necessarily at odds because they actually did like each other at first, but the families didn't. Right. She knew his dad wouldn't be into this. Right. So there's that at odds. Right. Something pulled them apart. Only makes the audience want them to get together.
Well, and she had a boyfriend, Bradley Cooper.
Well, right.
That she was engaged. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Bad timing, right? Another thing that is in a lot of these is the banter, right? There's usually some sort of witty banter and back and forth. A movie like Serendipity with John Cusack would be a great example of just the dialogue back and forth. It's some of the greatest well-written dialogues in these movies. Always great side characters too.
I was just going to ask: is the sidekick a requirement? Like you have,
yes, 100%.
The guy that made up Sharded in Shallow Hal. What was his name?
Yes.
He's great.
Jason,
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh yeah, Philip. Yeah, right. Yes.
Or
100%.
Sean Astin in 51st Dates. You were talking about that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're always. Even in Serendipity, it's the guy from Entourage. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Ari from Entourage. Yes, 100%. You need that because think of it as a video game, right? These characters are going on a journey. In Zelda, when you go meet that old wizard, he says, "Hey, here, take this. You need to take this sword with you for the next part of the adventure," right? That's what the best friend does in all of these side characters, right? Everybody needs them. The girls need them in the movie. The guys need them in the movie. I've told Tristan this as we watched You've Got Mail. I consider that the best written screenplay of all time because the timing and all the elements. Yeah, you can just do it time by time, beat by beat in that movie. Everything happens at the right moment. And this is a perfect example of the friend because Meg Ryan has two friends. She has a friend at the store that she talks to, and she has an older lady friend who she also talks to, right, about this scenario that they're in. Tom Hanks has his dad, who's the older character that he talks to, and he has his friend, right? And they're simultaneously doing this journey separate, but at the same time, it's the exact same journey. It's Tristan, you've watched it. Go ahead. What do you think of those moments?
It's weird because when growing up, I thought that rom-coms were just kind of a funny, like hilariously funny romance kind of movie. But then when I watched You've Got Mail, it definitely changed my perspective on it because it is actually a really good screenplay. A lot of the things that you see early on, they come back. There's little foreshadowing that happens, and the acting is also just equally as amazing. So yeah, it's a very parallel movie that works out really well.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get a better side character than You've Got Mail with Dave Chappelle.
He was really
Chappelle
good.
is Tom Hanks' best friend. Come on, you're right. You need that in every movie. They're sort of like the wise old owls that the main characters need in order to get to where they're going. They're more like the reality people, even though they might be crazy or more hilarious than the main characters, right?
I also think it's just this movie, there was zero real romance between them until the very end. They're texting back and forth on the old World Wide Web thing, but they didn't really have true feelings for each other when they knew them until at the end when Tom Hanks reveals himself as the guy that she's talking to, which I thought was a very interesting choice, but also kind of the better choice.
Yeah, I thought it was, and it's even, I think they even kind of have a show today about, there's something like Love Is Blind or something where people, they can't see each other, but they're meeting each other and talking to each other, and then sort of based on that, whether they're in love with each other. And it's kind of the same thing that happens in You've Got Mail. But again, the dialogue is so witty in the movie. Even when they're texting back and forth, he has this whole thing about The Godfather in that movie, and how it's any life lesson that you have is in The Godfather, and he kind of goes over it, and it's just genius, and it really harks back to older movies. It's almost like a 1934's rom-com, right? Tom Hanks is almost like Cary Grant in a way, and again, it was done super fantastic. Another ingredient is that the conflict has to be meaningful, right? You can't just you're not going to just get these two people together on the whim. There has to be something happening that they have to act upon, right? In You've Got Mail, a perfect example. Again, Tom Hanks, big bookstore, Meg Ryan, a little bookstore. She's about to go out of business. That meaningful conflict is super important. In Love and we'll talk about Love and Basketball at a certain point, but let's go back to 50 First Dates, for example. In 50 First Dates, that conflict is that she isn't going to remember anything at all. Then tomorrow, you're forgotten about, and the family is trying to protect.
Super protective. The father,
super
even the waitress, the whole town.
Sure. Yeah. So you need this big reason for this tension, right? There's something that they call the love to hate dynamic, which is a really well written romantic comedy. There will be moments in the movie where they interact and you won't be able to tell if they love each other or hate each other. I don't know if either of you have seen the Jack Nicholson movie that I brought up earlier, As Good as It Gets. He is an obsessive-compulsive writer, famous writer, but he's obsessive-compulsive, so he's kind of crazy. He says the wrong things at the wrong time, kind of an asshole. Helen Hunt is helping him just out of the kindness of her heart, but she is kind of falling in love with him, and he's falling in love with her, but he messes it up all the time because of how he is, and he can't help it. And there are moments in that movie where she looks like she just hates the shit out of him. But you're not sure, like maybe she kind of still loves him, right? So you need those tension moments that will come up. Again, when we talk about Love and Basketball, that's also in that. And then, of course, the payoff. Okay, there has to be some sort of vulnerable display, a payoff that proves that the character has changed, right? In 50 First Dates, right? He does all this stuff for her at the very end. It's usually coupled with some sort of great line, some sort of epic line, right? You had me at hello from Jerry Maguire, right? Or as you wish from The Princess Bride. Yeah. Things like that. That's kind of what really drives these romantic comedies. And I can't stress this enough. If you are a filmmaker, if you want to have anything to do with film or acting or writing or directing, study romantic comedies. They always will have an audience. Human beings in general are emotional, vulnerable people. That's why Tristan, at the very end of Endgame, when they do the circle and all the people come out, that build is, emotional, and you get emotional watching it. Romantic comedies are like that all the time, right? So again, that's my thing on romantic comedies. Study them if you want to do anything with film.
I think it was a great background.
They're genius.
Tristan, would you consider Wedding Crashers, Princess Bride movies like that romantic comedies? Like before this episode began?
The Princess Bride for sure. Wedding Crash. But this is the thing about rom-coms, right? If a movie has comedy and a movie has some romance, does that equal romantic comedy? Like a movie like Deadpool, it's a superhero movie, but there's a lot of comedy, and the whole premise is obviously Deadpool trying to get his woman back that got stolen, which is a little bit romantic. So is that a rom-com? Is it not? It's kind of...
Why not?
Right? And same with a movie like Big, another Tom Hanks movie. The whole premise isn't really romantic, but he meets a girl.
Because he's a little kid, technically.
Right, so
that would be weird.
It's a little weird, but, there's still some stuff there. And obviously it's a comedy, so...
No, big counts for sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, big definitely counts. And again, it's all just driving for this emotional release. I was like you growing up, and you thought, okay, well, that's just chick flicks. right? That's the girl stuff, um, uh, Steel Magnolias, blah blah blah. But I can't stress this enough. If you're really into film and understanding this art form, man, the ending of Steel Magnolias, holy shit! It's explosive, and it tops. And I will put it against any action movie, any what would you consider guy movies, right? Just performance-wise is outrageous. And again, there's romance in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Absolutely romance.
Is Grease a romantic comedy?
I mean, I would put it there.
I would say it's a romantic comedy.
There could be musical aspects to
Sure.
stuff
It's
like that. So
yeah, definitely a musical. I would say sure, absolutely.
West Side Story? No, that's not a romantic comedy.
I wouldn't.
It's a romantic,
Yeah.
film, not a comedy.
Yeah, more like a romantic drama.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, a drama. Yeah, and these things are all. I mean, they're all over the place.
I mean,
There's
I would
so
say
many.
most musicals are romantic comedies as well. Like Hairspray could be considered that, and
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And again, what I love about it is you don't need anything complicated at all, right? A lot of it has to do with society. Okay, just like any movie that you have, right? The movies reflect the society at the time, right? Working Girl. So Working Girl is a 1980s movie with Melanie. I don't know if any of you've seen it, where Melanie Griffith gets a job, in a corporate kind of thing. And back then, it was not necessarily that women were full on in the workforce, right? But she really wanted to work. She had this drive. Her boyfriend ends up cheating on her, who I think was Alec Baldwin, but I might be wrong on that. But then she meets Harrison Ford, and they kind of start this relationship. But it's mostly about her working, right? Her being fulfilled in her life. The romance thing is just sort of something that comes with it, but it's still a romantic comedy. So I think there's a lot to be said about it. Yes, are they mostly written for women, and do women mostly, go see them and cry during them and love them, right? I mean, The Notebook, for crying out loud.
The Holiday.
The Holiday, absolutely, right? But I think men are doing a disservice to themselves if they are not in touch with their emotional side of these relationships, because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal, right?
With the exception of maybe you can count on one hand, with the exception of a few, there's a guy in every one of these that we're talking about. You know what I mean? There's
right.
guy stuff that goes on. There's other male friends that he has. So no, I agree. And you say like it's simple, but there's a lot of nuance and sophistication in what you explained. Like what did you call it? The chemical beginning?
The chemical encounter.
The chemical encounter, the silly sidekicks, the meaningful conflict. Like that's not just like all a hodgepodge of like lucky moments. You know what I mean? That's like when Tristan. What did you think of You Got Mail?
it kind of like what my dad said. It is genuinely a very brilliant screenplay. It blows you away because of how simplistic it is, but yet all of the intricate details that they throw in and the acting, just even the story, like it's about two bookstore owners battling, but also they secretly love each other. Like on paper that is simplistic, but when you watch the movie, there's small details that either you'll miss or you'll see, and it kind of just makes a perfect movie.
Things you can't, things that they do without words. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, it's always going to be a Hollywood thing that, You've Got Mail at the time, of course, just like Sleepless in Seattle. You take the two biggest stars that everybody thinks is cute and hot, put them together. Hey, it's Julia Roberts, and George Clooney. Okay, we're going to have a romantic comedy. Boom. Right? That's the Hollywood way of doing it. But, once you lift up that hood, the engine that's inside of that is usually some really brilliant writing.
You got me thinking. I thought you were going to say Julia Roberts and what's his name? From
Mark Ruffalo?
Pretty Woman. No, but
No.
didn't George Clooney and Julia Roberts, they just did a fantastic rom-com together. They were at their kid's wedding. They were divorced and at their kid's wedding on an island.
Yes,
It
I have
was
not
unbelievable.
But yes, I think you're right. They've done a few movies together.
And they got back together. They were divorced, and through the conflict and the dealing with the kids' wedding and stuff like that, they wound up getting back together at the end.
Yes, and they have great chemistry together.
Yeah.
Right? I think they were in, well, obviously Ocean's 11.
Oceans 11, 12, and 13. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say there was another movie, American Sweetheart. Was George Clooney in that? Some of them do kind of run together.
There had to be more,
yeah,
for sure, with those two.
I know they weren't in Batman together. But I mean, yeah. So that's the idea is that, and obviously the reason why this podcast even exists probably is this art form is so broad. I mean, I literally watched a movie just last night where it's just, the story is it just follows one character after another. So for the first 2 minutes, you're following this guy down the street, and he passes this person, and you follow that person down the street, and then that person's talking to this person, and you follow this person, and it's like an hour and a half movie with just that. Right, that's it. That's the story. It's called Slacker, by the way, from the early '90s. Again, it's not a rom-com, but I guess the point is, there's that type of stuff too, right? There's so much broadness to this, but the romantic comedy has been crafted so well over the years, and it has so many elements in it that it literally is just a perfect writing tool. Honestly, for You Got Mail, I took that screenplay. This is when I was in film school, and I just said, okay, let me write my own story on it, perpendicular, right? So I used the exact format. You had index cards of what happens when, at the same time, right? And then you kind of write it out. So I think it's a great tool for the romantic, if you're in the film, study this stuff. For sure.
It sounds like, I know you're writing something now, but it sounds like after that you're going to have to do a romantic comedy course.
I might. Writing it's a lot harder than it was when you're youth. So Tristan, you should keep writing.
But yeah, I'm getting there. All right, so Meatballs, since you're our guest, we kind of want to get to know you a little bit more with film. Do you have any personal favorites? Maybe not so favorites. What's on your mind about some movies?
I was telling your dad, I think, when it comes to movies, I'm totally in touch with my feminine side. I'm super cheesy with the rom-coms and stuff like that. Grease is one of my favorite. Wizard of Oz, one of my favorite films of all time. West Side Story was my brother's favorite, so it kind of became mine after he passed. But and I recently watched the remake of West Side Story. It wasn't horrible. The Steven Spielberg
one, right?
version.
Yeah.
It was unneeded.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no one was asking for that, but it wasn't horrible. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, like, with the exception of like The Godfather or The Irishman, I will choose I'll choose Bridget Jones' Diary over Avengers if I'm flipping channels any day of the week. 27 Dresses. I love all that stuff. I can't wait for one of those to hit Netflix or Prime. You know what I mean? I'm into them.
Have you seen Love Actually?
I feel like I have. I'm not sure.
It's probably the best Christmas movie ever made.
Yeah.
You said the best Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Really?
And romantic comedy. Oh, it's You'll cry.
That's honestly, to me, that's
I mean,
like
I cried
You've
to
Got Mail.
Sopranos, so you can't go by me.
I generally think that might be the best screenplay ever written too, because there's so many connected stories and everything, and at the end with like the whole song and dance, it actually is emotional and hits the beat. It's really, really good.
I'm gonna have to check it out tonight.
Yeah, put Love Actually on, put You've Got Mail on, and come back to us. We'll do an updated
right.
Yes.
Because Love Actually is goddamn good. I mean,
it's not for me.
Every second of that movie, and you're gonna be surprised too, because you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's Rick from Walking Dead. Like, you'll be like, holy shit, he was British.
Really?
Yeah. It's Laura Linney in it is genius. Oh my god, there's so many people in it. You can't even. I can't even.
I forget his name, but the Prime Minister segment.
Alan Rickman.
My
Hugh Grant.
Yeah, Hugh Grant.
Really?
Oh my god, it has so many people in it, and it is tight. That movie is tight. Everything about that movie is genius.
And it's a romantic comedy?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
It's British. I mean, it's definitely a British film, but it's American though. I mean, you definitely feel the love, and it's a Christmas movie, and it's
100%.
The guy that played.
It's more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard. Is that what you're telling me right now?
100%.
For sure. Oh, for sure. The guy that plays, he always plays like a king or like a prime minister. He's the King's Speech, I think he was in. I can't remember this guy's name. He's in a lot of stuff today. But back then, he was this guy who's getting a divorce. Well, his wife cheated on him, basically. And he went off on his own to write a book. And he falls in love with his housekeeper, wherever he moved to. She speaks no English. So there are moments together where he's trying to be nice is hilarious. Because she's not understanding him. He's saying the wrong things. It's absolutely ingenious. And there's a moment with Rick from The Walking Dead, probably one of the most famous scenes of this. He's in love, I won't give too much away, but he's in love with somebody that he really shouldn't be in love with. And he has just one last, even though he knows it's a failing effort, he does this presentation to show her how he feels. And that's enough for him. And it is, I could tear up just thinking about it, honestly. It's one of the greatest scenes ever filmed. And this is prior to him being Rick from Walking Dead.
What about...
But Morgan Freeman's in it. Morgan Freeman is in it too. Freaking Bilbo Baggins.
I mean, I've seen bits and pieces flipping through, and I know of it, but I'll rent it tonight. The one with Vince Vaughn and Nona's Kitchen. It was just on Netflix.
Nona's, yeah.
That's a romantic.
I just watched that. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Oh, that was a beautiful movie. Fantastic. Oh my goodness.
And what
it was
about
one of his best. For sure.
There was one similar to that was a little older. The Feast of the Seven Fishes.
I don't remember that.
Not sure I knew that.
It's
obviously about the Italian.
It's about the Italian Feast of the Seven Fishes, but the grandson and the woman he's pursuing, that's where the romantic piece comes in. But the comedy element is like the family and everybody preparing for dinner, cooking the dinner. The grandmother calls her a whore. You know what I mean? Like it's the Feast of the Seven Fishes. I think it's like a sleeper on Prime.
I'm sure.
But yeah, the Nona's Kitchen I thought was fantastic.
Yeah. I can't believe that did not get as much.
It's based on a true story.
Love. Is it?
Yeah.
You know what? I would have known that when I first watched it.
The guy.
I forgot.
The guy that Vince Vaughn was portraying really opened up a kitchen, and he only lets grandmothers cook there.
That was awesome. No, that was great. And I think it was one of his best performances. He was so
real.
He was still kind of himself, but you know, as we know Vince Vaughn, but he was quieter.
Trying hard at all. Like it was very organic. Yeah.
Yeah. He was really, really good.
I mean, the women he had on his cast probably made it a lot easier for him to do well.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They made him look good, but yeah, I thought it was great. And like, I know it's not, it's couldn't be further away from this genre, but I'm looking at the posters behind you because I thought Us was fantastic.
Man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No. Now the
concept behind
you opened up,
Us.
You opened up a bag. You opened up a bag of
the concept
Jordan
behind
Peele.
Us was bonkers. I loved the ending, the whole thing.
There are moments.
These three movies are the pinnacle of new age horror movies that spark.
Is Nope the one with Glenn in it?
Yes, from The Walking Dead.
I wasn't crazy about that.
You weren't crazy about it. See,
it's the weakest out of the three.
Yeah, I agree with that. I remember coming into the theater kind of underwhelmed because I was hyped from Get Out and Us. But the more I watched it and the more like I rewatched it just this past 2024 actually, and I was like, nah, this is an amazing science fiction piece of
Us,
media.
I love
Us was
about it.
Impossible to top. I mean,
yeah, Us was a great first start, right?
Get Out is I think his peak, and Get Out is one of my favorite movies. Period. Just off the psychological mind F's it gives me. Yeah. But Us is a really good slasher / like psychological horror as well.
But I feel like the premise of Get Out has been done a million times. Us seemed very, very original to me.
Funny you should say that. Us, it is original, absolutely. But you can tell the love that Jordan Peele has for other movies, right? Other cinema. So in Us, the pier that is in that place that they all live under is this exact same pier that is in The Lost Boys, and he filmed it there. So it's the exact same filming location as The Lost Boys, like where that weird dude was like in the saxophone and stuff. He did that on purpose, right? Because he's kind of like, this is going to be in the same universe. So he has such a affinity for film and cinema that's why I think he's so good at making these movies the way they are. Because and of course, if you even watch Key and Peele, they crafted filmmaking on that show, because some of those skits are like, damn, that looks.
Even the flip of I Got Five on it with the violin.
No, I love the score of that movie because it's so good.
Yeah, and I think I love the fact that every film, especially horror movies, kind of go in these waves. So there was the Universal horror movies back in the day: Dracula, Frankenstein, the creature from Black Lagoon, and it was like that for a little bit. And then in the 70s, they changed the game. Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, right? John Carpenter. They changed the whole format, and then that went on for a little while. And then a little bit later, you have M. Night Shyamalan, right? Started to sort of change the game. Then you had like what they consider gore porn, right? Like what's the
Terrifier stuff?
Terrifier?
Saw and all of them. And now, then, and then Jordan Peele's kind of like changes the game again. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's great about his is there's always an underlining race aspect to it. The real horror in this world, right, is racism. And Get Out is really about that, right? It isn't necessarily these big creatures or this ghosts that are trying to get us. It's the real shit that's going on. Right. And I think that's fantastic. I think what a great. I can't wait to see where it goes.
And the evolution of horror, and I'm going to give a couple of shout outs. I don't know if you guys have seen these movies yet or not. They're very new. They came out this year. Is Curry Barker's Obsession and Kane Parsons' Backrooms. Those movies are now what Jordan Peele was doing back in 2016 They're the new horror directors. They're going to be great.
Yep.
Backrooms is a crazy psychological horror that actually
My
makes
kids
you
play
think.
the game. My
Yeah,
kids play the games on Roblox, but I just saw Obsession the other day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Obsession is probably one of my favorite movies that came out this year.
crazy.
And $700,000 budget, and it's literally making quadruple times the amount it made. Like,
They said it's the number one grossing film with less than $1 million budget ever.
yep, crazy.
That's an accomplishment.
And prior to that, it was also another horror movie, Blair Witch Project. Was really the original cheaply made movie that went completely bonkers.
And Obsession is really. Have you seen that, Dad, or no?
I have not yet. I have not.
You literally need
It's
to
still
watch
in the
it.
theater, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I have not yet.
It's. I don't know if you feel the same way, Tristan, but it's almost like horror comedy.
Yeah, it
Like the
Literally.
one wish element to it. Like it's almost like at times it doesn't take itself serious when the money starts falling from the
Yes,
sky
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, and honestly, like a lot of the stuff that Nikki was doing to him, like I was laughing at because it was like, this is so unbelievably scary, but also kind
Hiding
of
in
funny.
the corner.
Yeah, at the same time, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man.
When I said this too, I think there's a Tales from the Crypt episode that, when you told me the story, it reminded me of where I want to say it's Mary Lou. I forget the girl that's in it, but the guy is one of the Brat Pack kids. In Tales from the Crypt, and it's basically kind of the same story.
That reminded me. I wanted to ask you: did Sinatra make rom-coms like Guys and Dolls?
Yeah. Oh, Guys and Dolls absolutely is a rom-com. Absolutely.
Robin and the Seven Thieves, Robin and the Seven
Yeah.
Hoods, whatever it was. Yeah,
Sure.
okay, yeah.
He, I think, probably back in the day, he was more forced into things like that.
But they
old
count,
Hollywood.
though. Guys and Dolls
Absolutely.
counts.
Oh, sure.
What about my mom and dad? Their two favorite movies: Brigadoon and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Brigadoon, yeah.
Probably,
Well,
right?
Probably.
They were musicals. There was a little bit of a comedy aspect to it, but it's more musical romance. I don't know if that has a nickname, but
I'm sure it does. In this day and age, everything has its own category. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would. And he was a leading man, right? Any leading man, you're gonna do a romantic comedy, right? Even sure, De Niro has a romantic comedy. I can't think of one, but I'm sure he has.
12 Angry Men is at the top of my list because you're asking me about my taste and stuff like that.
That is my favorite movie of all time.
I know there's a 97 version with Tony Danza and Tony Soprano, but the
That
original is my favorite.
You know who else is in the 1987 version is one of my favorite actors, George C. Scott.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually think the 1987 version holds up very well, but you're right, it is not the Sydney.
It's not
Lumet.
better than the original, but yeah, I could watch either one of them.
Yeah.
At the drop of a hat. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's by far my favorite movie ever made. Genius.
Now, I do have a question talking about favorite movies. You said that The Wizard of Oz is your favorite movie, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, I am on the side of things where The Wiz is one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you have any backlash on that or if you have an opinion on The Wiz.
I love The Wiz. I mean, I think of it as like, it's funny. I think of it as something completely different. To be honest with you, The Wiz created the Upside Down 40 years before Stranger Things did. If we're going to be honest with each other. I loved The Wiz. I thought it was the darker, the more urban version. I loved to see Nipsey Russell, Michael Jackson, Diana Ross. I thought it was fantastic. The changing of the colors, and the disco element to it. It's a completely different movie as far as I'm concerned, but I thought they were both fantastic.
So where does the Wizard of Oz love come from? Why the Wizard of Oz?
That's such an amazing dream that she got to live out and the journey she goes on was unbelievable to me when I was a kid. I would literally rewind it over and over again. And like the witch and the monkeys were a little scary to me when I was younger, but like I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, and even like that was like one of the first times like I started to watch documentaries and behind the scenes stuff, the jitterbug and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like the story and the journey they went on, and the fact that it was a dream, it just really knocked me for a loop as a kid, and I just took such a liking to it. And then, but it's not just The Wizard of Oz. I love The Wiz. I love The Return to Oz with Fairuza Balk. I love the Tin Man one that they did with the guy from Desperate Housewives.
And I was going to ask you about Wicked as well, the Ariana Grande and stuff like that, or even the one on Broadway.
Wicked, all three of them. The two Wicked movies, the one on Broadway, I loved them as well. I took my mom to see Wicked and Wicked for Good. We loved both of them. I think that the version of The Wizard of Oz that, spoiler alerts, let's give everybody a moment to shut off, but I think the ending of Wicked for Good created such a better version of The Wizard of Oz that I wish that would have been what the book wrote in the beginning.
Okay, because I know there's a lot of from what I've saw online is like they didn't like the ending of For Good because it kind of diminished the original end or the Wizard of Oz movie. Because
I think it enhanced it and made it way better.
Okay,
yeah,
that's interesting. I'd never heard that before, honestly.
I think
it's a prequel, correct?
Yep.
I haven't seen what the prequel
yeah.
is. It's a prequel.
I think if Wizard of Oz would have been what Wicked for Good portrayed it to be, it would have been even a larger smash hit than it was. I mean, like, you had Buddy Gillespie making tornadoes with stock hose, pantyhose and stuff like that. Like, it was going to be an amazing accomplishment no matter what. But did you guys ever find out where the red brick road leads to?
I never have.
There's a yellow brick road, but right next to the yellow brick road is a red brick road. Nobody ever shows us where that
well, there's a lot of talk too, and I come from the culture that was more of the psychedelic kind back in the day, in the 90s. So there was a lot of talk and discussion and weirdness about Wizard of Oz. There's a famous thing where if you start Wizard of Oz and you start Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, it matches up. It doesn't. I don't believe in any of that. But there is a thing where when they before they get to the Emerald City, they fall asleep in a field of poppies, right? Which is basically heroin. Or how you eventually get heroin. So they fall asleep there, and then they wake up, and hey, you're in the Emerald City, right? So again, this is all just jump food for the brain. Just food for the brain as people. Same with of course, there's the famous story of somebody committing suicide in the background, and you see it, and but I think that also makes it just such an epic thing. The Wizard of Oz has always been
larger than life.
Yeah, just one of the standards in film, right? If you study film, you cannot avoid looking at The Wizard of Oz in some
what it meant for the film industry. Yeah,
absolutely.
Agreed.
Yeah, I love them all. No one can make, even the what's her face, Ashanti and the Muppets. Nobody can make a bad Wizard of Oz spin-off in my mind.
No matter what.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's fantastic. And what was you said Wizard of Oz, and what was the other one that you said?
Oh, Grease.
So, and Tristan, we just showed our nieces Grease for the very first time.
Really?
and they are what 6 or 7 and
6, 7.
Yeah, they're young enough to believe that Travolta
9.
was in high school in that film.
And even there's a brand new born like 4 or 5 months. Was watching it and dancing to it. Yeah, Grease was absolutely
Grease. I'll tell you this right now.
Genius.
It's the best musical of all time. Like, there's
Oh, I don't know. West Side Story. That's a whole. We're gonna have to fight on that one because West Side Story might be the best musical of all time.
I understand, but I think Grease just has a little bit more, I don't know, pizzazz to it maybe, or maybe the songs to me are better and more catchy.
Yeah, Grease got a little more flavor. West Side Story is a little darker. I'll give you that for sure.
And honestly,
there's a little bit more vintageness to Grease too, because in the 70s, it's harking back to the 50s, right? You know, it's there's a little bit more nostalgia to it.
And I don't know, to me, it's just, I think maybe the characters are cooler. Like, the whole Grease Lightning thing and being a greaser, like, that was...
I don't know. I think the Greasers are the kindergarten version of the Jets, cuz
Wow.
the Greasers couldn't touch the Jets'
Kindergarten
shoes.
Maybe. Ooh.
I think the Greasers would get their asses kicked by the Jets. Get the frig out of here. You're nuts.
Nobody in Greece was good at fighting. They actually stank badly at
You know,
the
you're
fight.
probably right. But Grease is about love. You know, they don't need to fight.
You did have
what
the
was West Side
Australian.
Story about?
I know, it's also about love.
Funny. If we bring it back, so Grease, Olivia Newton-John, who the Australians are hyper focused on, by the way, and John Travolta, right? These two were not. That was not the only movie that them two were in, by the way. So in the 80s, they were also in a movie called Two of a Kind, which is a romantic comedy. If I remember correctly, this is the plot. These are two people in New York.
Hold on, Travolta and Newton-John?
Yes,
Really?
absolutely.
Okay.
You got to watch it. Put that one on your list, and Tristan, you too, because actually I need to rewatch it because it's been forever. My sister used to have the soundtrack.
I thought you were gonna hit me with like Blowout or Boy in the Bubble, but go ahead.
No. Blowout, by the way, is a remake of a foreign film. We'll get to that at some other time. Anyhow, Two of a Kind, Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. From what I remember, again, fact check me, they were two New York people. Obviously, John Travolta was sort of like a slick DJ guy or something, right? They disliked each other terribly. For whatever reason, they have 3 ghosts that work for like Zeus. And these are 3 people that you know of from other 80s movies. I can't think of exactly who they are, but you've seen them many times. Like when you watch it, you'll be like, oh my god, these 3 people were in it? And they are interjecting into the world ways to get these two together. So like they'll stop traffic one day, so like they meet, and they're doing all this weird shit in order to get them two together. And I think John Travolta is gonna like rob a bank or something. He's doing some crime. They're trying to help prevent it by interjecting in the world, right? Their powers. Like they freeze everything, and they're like, oh, let's move this here and move that there, whatever, in order to get them two together. And it's, now that I think about it, it's absolutely ridiculous. Probably a bad movie. I don't remember.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't. It's probably a very bad movie. I don't remember, but my sister would have me watch it because she was a huge Olivia Newton-John fan.
Unless you dropped acid and you were listening to Dark Side
Yeah.
of the Mood simultaneously, I don't know.
Yeah, but you got to watch it. It's absolutely bonkers. But so they weren't in just Grease together.
That's
I thought their
interesting.
chemistry
I
in
didn't
Grease
know
was
about that.
amazing.
Yeah. Heart and Soul. Hearts and Soul. I don't know if it's plural or not. With Robert Downey Jr.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my God, it's not a rom-com, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's
That's great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
New Spotlight.
I'm
gonna quickly just talk about the Big Bang Theory. There's not too much, well, there's romance, there's comedy, there's also just a whole bunch of nerdy and geek stuff, but Growing up, I love this show. I think Sheldon Cooper is probably one of the best TV characters of all time, period. And no one's going to fight me on that. But yeah, I think the romance in that was really good. The whole Penny and Leonard thing. The will they, won't they break up, they get back. And then they have, Sheldon, who meets his literally woman counterpart, the exact same person, Amy Farrah Fowler. All hilarious, all great. And all the side characters, too. Howard, Rajesh, Stewart. All of them are hilarious. All of them are good. Honestly, I think I don't watch a whole lot of, sitcoms, but I think this is probably my favorite sitcom. So, well, that's pretty much for my TV spotlight.
I agree with that, 100%.
Yeah. I think sitcoms are the same as romantic comedies, basically.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Almost the same.
They're like situational romantic comedies.
Yeah.
They're never. I mean, even Roseanne had romantic elements to it from time to time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. Mine would have to be The Office. It's on like every day. And I would briefly, I'll say I could talk about The Office forever, but what I will say is from the very jump, if you watch it, if you binge it from season 1 till the end, you can tell right off the jump they knew what they were doing with the romance that was actually happening. The show itself is a comedy about the paper company, and there's lots of crazy characters and crazy things that happen, but ultimately it is about the story of Jim and Pam getting together, and it takes a little while, right? They let it simmer. They don't just, hey, we're going to get them together. They let it breathe a little bit. There's a lot of things that happen in between, but every time you still see that little moment where Jim will look at her or she'll look at him, and you just know, you're like, damn, they love each other, right? You know ahead of them, and they do it so brilliantly. And then they also are telling Dwight and Angela's they also need to get together, right? And you realize that from the jump. And the way it just crescendos into the finale where everything makes sense. It is absolutely a beautiful... There's a scene where, and I actually did this at my wedding, where Jim gives her a video of every moment that they shared on the show together as just sort of like a gift to say how much he loves her. And it's literally a throwback to every moment on the show that we've just watched. And man, it's a tearjerker for sure. And I actually did that for my wedding. I gave my wife a video with that.
I remember being in that room. That was rough.
Yeah, and it was great. So, The Office is 100% a romantic comedy. Really will pull at your heartstrings. Absolutely. So go ahead.
I would say mine would have to be How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
I think when How I Met Your Mother ended, it felt like I had just gone through a breakup.
Yeah.
Like I wanted it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of my old bosses put me onto it, and he was like, "You gotta." Like, I remember him bringing up a clip on YouTube. He's like, "You gotta watch this," and I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about? Like, this is How I Met Your Mother. Bob Saget is talking to the kids the whole time." And I thought it was phenomenal. When you talk about
that's a long con.
Barney was he's one of the best sidekick characters ever.
Yep. 100%.
And
Absolutely.
there were multiple relationships to be considered as part of like the romantic comedy element to it. I loved binge watching it. I came in late, but I loved binge watching it, and I was super torn up when I finished the final episode, you know. But I was pleased with the whole thing. I loved how it ended. I didn't have any issues with it at all. And there's multiple little like mini romantic comedies all throughout, leading up to, you know, the big build at the end.
Yep.
So that would be my pick.
Yeah, I love that show. Shelby actually made me watch that. We binged it a few years ago. I've never seen it, and she was like, "You have to watch it." And man, it's a long con. Like,
yeah,
they really wrap it up well. It's that was a perfect show for sure.
I have not seen that yet, but I've seen a lot of clips on TikTok of the show, and it's pretty funny.
All right, so
moving on. to the movie of the month, which spun last time, which was Love and Basketball. Quick thoughts.
Movie.
The only reason why I did pick this, I've seen a lot of people pick it, but Ryan Coogler, being probably my favorite director right now, picked that for his Criterion pick when we watched it. I was like, it's romantic comedy, it's basketball, I would probably love it, so we're gonna watch it. And yeah, it is probably one of my favorite movies. As soon as we got done watching it, Dad, I literally went online and bought the poster for it because it was so good. I'm gonna find a spot for it in my room somewhere. It's genuinely that good.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. This is, and you know, this came out in what, 2000, right? Again,
holds up. It's 26 years old. It holds up, cuz.
Yeah, it does. It holds up really well. I love the girl in this. She was great. Just so steadfast the whole movie.
And you don't realize how many, when you talk about the cast, there were Gabrielle Union, Tara Banks, Regina Hall.
Yep.
There were so many supporting big names, but in 2000, you know, when he climbs through her window when his parents are arguing and she just lets him sleep on the floor, like, that's some of the realest shit ever.
Yep.
Like, that's totally... Like, that's such a cliche when the neighbors climb through the window like that, but they did it in such a sophisticated, like, adult way.
And that scene in specific kind of, like, really got me, is because there's no dialogue.
Right.
She hears the parents arguing, he's very upset, and she just, you know...
throws the shit on the floor, yeah.
Like, it's
they've been there before.
Yeah.
They've been there before.
Yeah.
And it sucks that happened.
Oh, yeah. That's not his first time sleeping on her floor. Yeah.
Right.
1000%. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was genius. The acting, everybody that was in that show. And you have to imagine then, like, all of these people who are famous now, you know, they were just getting their hands dirty. What an amazing experience that had to be. Like, all of these fresh, hungry people.
You had to know you were part of something special.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing that did blow me away was the parallels from the screenplay to an actual game of basketball, because the movie is broken up into 4 quarters. The first quarter, you get to just know, you get the feel of it. You know, the second and third quarter, you got to start ramping up because you got to start scoring points. And the fourth quarter, if you're not already, you know, in the lead, you got to kind of pick it up or finish strong, which I think they finished perfectly in that movie.
Yeah.
The when she makes him play at the end and she loses and she's walking away and then he's like, double or nothing. Like, that's, those 3 words are so unbelievable to, like, connect to the film and the plot, and you immediately know
you had me at hello.
Yes, you had me
at hello.
Yeah,
it's absolutely. That's part of the ingredient, right? Now he changed. That was his proof that he changed, and now he's ready.
Well, he tells her, like, I couldn't trust anybody after my father, and it's 5 years later, and I've grown over it. But, like, you know, you had to go away to Spain, and I needed, you know, time.
And I think another big thing in the actual end is when he and her obviously have a kid, and he's cheering her on in the WNBA scenes. I thought that was even better because, you know, usually we'd probably see Malik actually be in the NBA, but he's the one that's on the sideline because she's now ready to be in the WNBA and do her big league stuff, which I thought was also very, very touching.
Yeah, I thought it was very unique. The basketball element, I think, was unique. The way they filmed the basketball scenes, I thought were great. It was right in the action.
The way that The Bear isn't about food and The Sopranos isn't about the mob, this wasn't about basketball.
Right. Correct.
It was very well done.
I think the basketball was sort of the metaphor, right? It's a metaphor for these two characters.
Another good saying, which, you know, it's so cheesy when you hear the title of the film in the movie, but not this time. All things fair in love and basketball.
Yep.
Especially how he brought it back at the end because they were doing it in college. Like, I think that it wasn't corny this time.
Right.
I agree.
It was Shakespearean, actually.
Yeah.
It was very Shakespearean.
And same with the soundtrack too. When you throw in some Bobby Brown, it gets me going. So
yeah.
And it was like all meat, no potatoes. There were no weak parts of this film, no weak acting in this film. The parents were great. The siblings were great. You know, everything was... The fact that, like, she showed him the pictures of the father immediately. Like, most mothers would never do that.
Yep. They would hide it.
Yeah.
Continue to hide. There's shame in all of that. Yeah, and I mean, just it's one of the first times I think ever that I can think of where we filmed what is it like to be a famous sports person's wife?
Right.
Right. What's that life like? Because guess what? It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
That's the very first time that realism, that honesty, right? Prior to that, it's always, oh, the wife is so supportive. You know, thank God that we have everything we have. And this was a little different.
Because she had her own dreams of that too.
Okay, cuz I'm sorry.
But I've just said she also had the same dream that he had of both making it into the professional basketball scene. So there was clashing of the heads, but they also loved each other.
You're just making me think about this for the first time, but the difficulty that his mother had with the father being in the NBA. Do you think that's why he wound up being a stay-at-home dad at the end?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because he knows his dad is, you know, not the greatest of people or didn't treat his mom well. So he had his time in the NBA. And he did. He had that big injury, which does suck. And it's a real thing that happens in the sports world. So, and it's her time to shine. You know, it's not all about him. It's also about her.
Yeah, and
she loved it more. She wanted.
She was more hungry
than he did. Yeah, she was. Yeah, more hungry.
He wanted to be like his father until he learned what his father was, and then she really wanted it for the game.
Yeah, 100%.
And and you could tell that right from the very jump when they met as kids.
Yeah,
I mean, she started to beat on him.
The whole "I need to be better than my father" meant you couldn't be in the NBA any longer.
Right. Yeah, and his father knew that too, actually. His father knew that.
His father was the biggest advocate for him not.
Yeah, he was trying to get him to go to school still.
Yeah. Even from the gate, yeah.
And that's always funny to me. And again, I hope I don't necessarily do this as a father, Tristan. But, you know, there's always somewhat of a backhand thing, like, oh, don't be like me. Don't smoke like me. Don't do this like me. There's usually always kind of a backhand aspect to that. In this case, though, I'm assuming that the father really just didn't want him to get all jacked up in all this scenario, because it's...
Well, and you got to think, he was actively in the affair while he was giving his son this advice.
Right.
So, you know, your conscience weighs on you, and that guilt seeps out one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Literally.
And that was the guy from Major League. What a great...
Yeah. The guy that couldn't speak English. Yeah.
It
was a fantastic film. All 4 quarters. The children did a great job. The adults did a great job. You guys couldn't have picked a better film to discuss today.
Yeah, I agree. Thank God. Great.
And so, since this is basketball, so next month we will be doing sports movies.
Obviously, September was another big month for sports. Football is starting back up. So,
yes. And I mean, obviously, my basketball career was cut short because of my knee injuries.
Right. Right.
I only played pro ball for a little
for just a real little bit. You know, now I have to just work at the warehouse.
So yeah, for the movie of the month next week, we got 4 sports movies. Now, Meatballs, do you want to add in one little wild card in, or what's your vibe?
You want me to add? So is there any criteria, or it just needs to be a sports movie?
Sports movie.
Sports are in it in some
What's
fashion.
the one with Pacino and LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx?
That's Any Given Sunday.
Any Given
Oliver
Sunday.
Stone movie.
All right.
That would be my pick.
Any Given Sunday. Oliver Stone is one of my favorite directors. So what are the movies? We got Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday from Meatballs. Now, my picks is Space Jam, probably one of the greatest cartoon basketball movies ever, and Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme is the Timothy Chalamet table tennis drama that came out last year.
Right. My picks are A League of Their Own, which is Penny Marshall and Tom Hanks.
Ooh.
Brilliant. She's one of the best female directors of all time. Not even just female. And what was my other one? I can't remember.
Wildcats.
Goldie Hawn, Wildcats. This is an 80s movie. Woody Harrelson is in it. This movie, you'll get hyped on this one. It's a good football movie.
But all right, I'm going to spin the wheel, and we'll see what it lands on. It is A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own. All right.
Boom.
There's no crying in baseball.
There's
That's
no crying in
another great
baseball.
saying.
There's no crying in baseball.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
That's a great movie to talk about next time.
I'm excited
Yes.
to see. I've never seen this, so I'm excited.
Oh, awesome. You're going to love it.
Fellas,
But
I
yeah,
appreciate you having me on. This is my first guest appearance on anybody's podcast ever. That's
Wow.
fantastic.
Very excellent. And please, anybody watching our show, please watch Massi's show, 40 Beers, 40 Years. We'll put links, obviously, down below. They're way ahead of us in terms of production and even probably thought process, to be honest. So definitely check out their podcast.
Thank you.
We may have some exciting news coming very soon for Lil Detectives. A dish best served cold, but we'll make that a gray area for now. It's still on the film festival circuit, so it's still kind of making its rounds. It's going to be doing that for quite a few months. But again, eventually you will see Joe Massi in it, hopefully in a broad sense.
I can't wait.
The greatest actors ever lived.
There you go.
Woo! Look at that.
Look at
That's
that.
a great way to go out.
There we go. But yeah, with that, like, share, subscribe, listen on Spotify.
I'm going to have to hang up now. You've been the greatest actor.